What's up, guys? It's Micah Machine here. Today is November 10th, 2016, and I want to make a vlog about fasting and how you can still gain size and muscle, and actually how it's easier for you to gain muscle and size, in my opinion and in my experience, through doing this. And then some of the other health benefits that you will get from fasting and sort of how it works. So what I do is, it's called alternate fasting, and I do this every single day, and it's 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. So I don't cut my calories, I don't cut what I'm eating, I just eat it within an 8-hour period. And so for me, what my day looks like is I don't eat breakfast. So I wake up, I don't eat breakfast. I do have a coffee, because this kind of coffee that I make is kind of helpful, especially in the first couple weeks when you're doing it, when your body's still used to eating and you're hungry. After a while it goes away and it's just easy for you, and you don't really get hungry until noon, which is when I eat my first meal. But I wake up, I make a black coffee, so you can't have any sugars or any carbohydrates, because the idea here is not to spike your insulin levels at all. So you want to keep your thyroid inactive. And what I'll have is my black coffee with coconut oil, which is super healthy for you, plus it has fast burning fats that'll give you quick energy, and no carbohydrates. It's key. And then organic butter. I'll blend that up in my blender and drink it in the morning, and it helps me with my energy. It has really fast burning fats, the butter and the coconut oil, which will go and give you some energy and some nutrition in the morning, and kind of help your brain as well, which fasting does too. But it's just a little bit of that kick in the morning. People call it bulletproof coffee or whatever. I don't know. I think some people actually try to sell it that way, but it's just much cheaper if you go out and buy the separate ingredients and blend it yourself. And it tastes okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. It does make your coffee a little more creamier, so it's not as black if you don't like black coffee, but you're still going to taste the black. I like black coffee. I like strong black coffee, so if you don't, I kind of don't know what to tell you, but maybe try to like it if you need that extra kick. If not, if you're good, I mean, you can do this with tea as well, so if you're a tea person, that works. So that's what it looks like. I wake up, I make that coffee, and then I eat my first meal at noon. And then I snack throughout the day, and I eat my last meal at 8. And I do not, like I said, cut anything. And there's a couple myths that I want to bring to light, which is breakfast being the most important meal of the day. That is not true. There's no study showing that. In fact, when you look into this, where this all came from, it was from a breakfast campaign. A lot of breakfast commercials were coming out, and it just kind of stuck. And through the years, it's just what we repeat and never actually try to understand. And then another thing is, it's kind of huge too within like the health world, the fitness world, is eating a bunch of small meals and constantly keeping your body digesting something, even through when you sleep. So you'll take like casein protein and try to constantly do that. So you don't go into the starvation mode or whatever it is. And some people do believe that if you miss a couple meals, you'll go into a starvation mode, and your metabolism will slow down and you'll start to store fat. First of all, you do reach a starvation mode, but that isn't until 3 to 4 days of not eating. And then your body will begin to store the fats or the energy that it has and not burn it as fast, because it thinks it's not going to get food. But it will not happen until 3 to 4 days. So within that time, I mean, you can go a couple of days without eating and totally not fuck that up. You might be a little tired and hungry, but you won't fuck that up. And the other one is, it's not a myth, but I guess it's like an understanding, and it's a segue into the next part of this. And that is, when you sleep, you grow. That's true, but nobody really wonders why. And the reason why is because you're in a fasted state for a couple of hours of your sleep. What happens is, when you're in this fasted state, you burn fat, and you will not burn fat until you're done burning your glycogen stores. So your body runs off of glycogen, blood sugar, and fat. And your body would prefer to burn fat, but it saves it for the last thing that it burns, because it's not a quick burning thing. So it takes 6 to 8 hours for your body to finish burning out your glycogen stores. So when you're sleeping for 6 to 8 hours, maybe more, and you probably didn't eat right before bed. So it could have been a couple hours to an hour before bed. And that means you have a couple hours in this fasted state. And when you burn fat, you create HGH, which helps you grow, which helps you with a lot of things, helps you with longevity. That is, the longevity hormone. And you create, and this is the crazy thing, this is what got me into it the most, is your body will create 2,000% more HGH while fasting. It's proven over time and time again through studies that that's the way it is for males, and for females it's 1,300% more. So that's huge. I mean, honestly, for me, if it was just like 60 or 40% more, I would still be on board. But it's 2,000. That's astronomical. That's huge. That's crazy. And if you're an injector of that kind of stuff, like, I would definitely look into this, because you create about as much as you can. You would normally inject, unless you go crazy with the stuff. But you would normally inject. And you do it naturally with your own clean, real, cheap. It's like, so it's not expensive, and it's your HGH. So I'm sure it would work better for you specifically, since your body's creating this HGH and it's your, body created hormone. It's just the pure, right stuff. A lot of people, you spend all this money on that thing and you're not even sure if it really is HGH. And I would just say, look at this as an alternative, or maybe do both. I don't really care what you do, but just look into this. So this was huge for me as far as my fitness, along with a lot of other things. Plus, your body's burning fat, so you're going to be shredding this fat and you're becoming leaner. And for me, like, I've been leaner since I've been doing it. I've grown size, but I've been, less fat. So that's huge for me. I want to be bigger in muscle, and I want to be able to be, leaner in fat, but still, pull some weight and still have that hormone surging through that's going to keep me going. And so that's huge too. So you get a lot of that. And the other thing is, when you're burning fat, you're creating this protein that your brain prefers, that it doesn't get unless your body's burning fat. And that's called a ketone. And that is what your brain, like, it wants it. It'll feed off of it much better. Like, your memory will go up, your clarity will go up, and it's crazy. And since I've been doing this, I've definitely noticed that I've been able to remember things. Like, I can watch a long, boring video, an informational video, and remember most of it. So that's huge. Or read a book and remember most of it. And my clarity is good. I can think. My thinking process is faster. And also, it helps raise your BDNF, which is your brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is basically in charge of birth and maintenance of nerves and brain cells. So nerve cells and brain cells. So that's huge, because people, when you have a healthy nervous system, you have a healthy muscular system, because those two are obviously very hugely connected. And a lot of people think that when you get older that your muscles get weaker, but that's not necessarily true all the time. It's the fact that your nerve connections are getting weaker, and then your muscles maybe in result become weaker, but that's kind of where it happens. So if you can keep a healthy nervous system, theoretically you can keep a healthy muscular system, a healthy functional muscular system, up until the day you die. So that's kind of cool. And also, you can help create new brain cells, which is great too. And that raises this function by 400%. So that's huge too. And also, this is another huge thing, is your insulin sensitivity. Your insulin sensitivity becoming, desensitized to insulin is linked to every single disease that there is. And if you can keep a very healthy sensitivity towards insulin, then you'll be, your immune system will go up and everything, and your body react a lot better to it. So when you're not, and insulin is obviously created when you have glycogen stores and stuff like that. So if you're constantly eating, like this health, crave is to have food in you constantly, you're going to have an oversurge of insulin, and your body's going to be desensitized to it, and you're going to be more susceptible to disease and all these other horrible things. So it's great to keep your insulin in check, because you're not going to have an insulin spike until you eat. So your body is going to be more sensitive to that insulin spike, and you're going to have a better level and a better functionality of your thyroid when that is happening. So I mean, that's just crazy. Another thing is, with your diet, I eat healthy. I try to eat healthy. Try to fill my house with, full, real, organic food, good foods. I do a lot of research. I never stop researching on what can do better. And I suggest you do the same. I suggest you look into this. And if you want to, I would look up John Bergman on YouTube and Dr. Mike, or just look up John Bergman intermediate fasting. And that's the first place I heard it from, and I've been doing research then, and I've been doing it myself since. So I would definitely look into that. Keep doing your own research. And I mean, that's it, guys. Quality food. You can eat like shit and still get benefits from this, but in the end of the day, you are what you eat. So keep it healthy, guys. That's it for me. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay happy. Peace out.